Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. So on today's video tutorial, guys, we are still going through the grade 11 mathematical literacy paper 2 that was written in November 2022 by the Eastern Cape Province learners, guys. And remember, we are using this paper to revise all the concepts, all the topics, right, that you guys have learned in grade 11. And in this video tutorial, guys, we are tested on our knowledge when it comes to a number scale. Okay, how do you basically use a number scale to determine length on a piece of paper? That's what we're going to be doing on this video tutorial. Okay, how can we use this number scale that is given to us to determine the dimensions on a piece of paper? Okay, so we're not just now moving from a measured distance to an actual distance. In reality, in this case, right, we are now taking the actual distance that is given to us and we are using this number scale that is given to us to determine what is the measured length on a piece of paper. So if you know that this topic gives you grief, please make sure that you watch this entire video tutorial. Okay, in this video tutorial, guys, we're also going to be doing some conversions. We're going to be converting from meters to centimeters, and we're also going to be converting from centimeters cubed to milliliters, right, and then further on converting to liters. Okay, so before we get started with today's video tutorial, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you click on that notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video tutorial, guys. And also, please don't forget to give this video tutorial a huge thumbs up, because that really helps the channel grow and it helps the channel to reach more learners that want to better their mathematics marks. Okay, so without any further ado, guys, let's get started with today's video tutorial. Okay, so like I mentioned in today's video tutorial, guys, we're going to be tackling question 4.1. It deals with number scales. We're going to be converting from the actual length to the measured length on a piece of paper using a number scale. So let's get started. It says Jonah Moa buys a small fish tank from Bay Aquariums for the price of 472 rands. Okay, and this price includes VAT. Okay, so VAT is already included in this amount. Okay, he wants to present the dimensions of his fish tank on a piece of paper. His father, an architect by profession, told him to use a scale of 1 to 30. Okay, so we told about Jonah, who buys a small fish tank, right, and he basically wants to draw this fish tank on a piece of paper, right, and he wants to now represent the dimensions of this fish tank on a piece of paper using the scale of 1 is to 30. So how are we going to do that? Okay, so I'm going to basically give you guys two different approaches that you guys can use to help you with this question. Okay, so please make sure that you pay attention when I go through these approaches with you guys. Okay, it says this table below shows the dimensions of a small fish tank. Study the table and answer the questions that follow. Okay, we are told that this table represents the dimensions of this fish tank on a piece of paper. What is the length of this fish tank on a piece of paper? And we're given the width of this fish tank on a piece of paper as 1 centimeters. Okay, so you need to remember that the dimensions on a piece of paper are represented in centimeters. Okay, however, the dimensions in real life are represented in meters. Okay, so now we're going to now have to determine what are the dimensions on a piece of paper in centimeters using this number scale that was given to us. Okay, we are told to note the volume is equal to length times width times height. Okay, question 4.1.1 says refer to the table above. Use the scale to calculate the missing value A and B. Okay, so we have to now determine what is A and what is B. Okay, what are the dimensions on paper? Okay, how must he draw this fish tank on paper using the number scale that was given to us? Okay, we are given the number scale 1 is to 30. Okay, and then what do we know, guys, right? So I've already explained in the previous video tutorials that when we're working with a number scale, okay, a number scale, okay, it basically means that 1 unit, okay, on paper is equal to 30 units in real life, okay? So one measured length on paper, okay, is equal to 30, okay, actual length in real life. Okay, so we already spoke about this, right? That 1 unit on the piece of paper is equal to 30 units, okay, in real life. Okay, so the units can be centimeters, millimeters, kilometers, right? It doesn't really matter, but you just need to ensure that now when you're now working with these different units, right, that you're coming with, they have to be in the same dimensions. Okay, so how can we now use this, right? Very simple, guys. Do you see that we've already created a formula, an equation that we can use to help us solve this question? We already know that one, okay, unit of measured length on paper is equal to 30 units in real life. Okay, and we're going to use now this equation to help us now determine, okay, the dimensions of the fish tank, right, on paper. Okay, right? You see, guys, the formula, this method, every single way, like you can literally ace mathematics literacy if you get this. Okay, so all that we need to do now, we're going to work with the values that are given to us, right? We're given the height of 0.45 meters, and we want to determine what is the dimension on paper, right? However, what do we notice about the height, about the length, about the width, right? These dimensions are given in meters. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to first convert these dimensions into centimeters, because we want to be able to then now, when we use this equation, right, we'll have our final answer in centimeters. But even if you still leave it as meters, but you need to remember that now when you continue, you need to now convert that answer that you'll have into centimeters, okay? Because there we have been specifically told to determine the value of A, to determine the value of B, right, in centimeters and not meters. So to make my life easy, I'm just going to start off by just converting these into centimeters, okay? So I'm going to convert the height, okay? So all that we need to do now, guys, we need to convert this height, the length, and the width of 0.3 meters, right, into centimeters. Already, guys, we've discussed how you do your conversions. I'm just going to refer back to the diagram that we did together in question 3.2, right? If you want to move from meters, okay, to centimeters, what do we do, guys? For us to move from meters, we are here, right, in meters, and we want to go to centimeters. We are moving from left to right, so you're just going to multiply by 100. Okay, so all that we're going to do with all these units that we have here, we are just going to multiply all of them by 100, and that is going to then convert these dimensions into centimeters. Okay, so if you punch that into your calculator, what do you get? What is the height, what is the length, and what is the width in centimeters? Okay, you'll get that the height is 45 centimeters. You'll get that the length is 105 centimeters. You'll get that the width is 30 centimeters. Okay, so now that we've converted all these dimensions into centimeters, we are more than ready to then get what the value of A is, what the value of B is, right, of the fish tank on the piece of paper. So in this case, right, we need to ask ourselves, right, what is A? Okay, A basically represents the height. Okay, so now we want to determine the height of this fish tank on the piece of paper. Okay, already what do we have? We've got 45. I'm gonna do it here on the side. Okay, we already have the height, right, of the fish tank in real life. So we've got 45 centimeters in real life. Okay, so this 45 represents what? The units in real life. However, what do we want? We want what is the length on paper. So we're going to multiply by what we want. What do we want? The length of the fish tank on paper. So we're going to multiply by 1. Okay, this is the measured length on paper, and you're going to divide it by what? What does that 45 centimeter represent? That represents the units in real life. So we're going to divide by what we already have, which is 30. Okay, so in this case, what do we see? Okay, that is how we are going to determine our value for A. Okay, you take what you already have. We've got 45 centimeters. This 45 centimeters represents the units in real life. Okay, then you're gonna multiply by what do you want? We want to determine what is the measured length on paper. So we're going to multiply by what? And you're going to divide it by what you have. What do we have here already? We've got our units in real life. So you're going to divide by 30 units. Okay, and that's how you're going to get A. Okay, so that's the same as us just writing it as A is just going to be equal to that 45 centimeters multiplied by 1 divided by 30. Okay, remember guys, when you're obviously dealing with your ratios, right, we don't have any units here. So that is why I ensured that I first basically change my units to be in the units that I want, and that is the units in centimeters. And that just basically simplifies my life, because then I can just punch this into your calculator and then you'll find what the height of the fish tank is, right, on paper. So it's going to be 45 times it by 1 divided by 30, and that is going to give you 1.5 centimeters. Okay, so when Jonah is drawing this fish tank on a piece of paper, Jonah needs to ensure that he measures 1.5 centimeters on his ruler. Okay, so how can we basically determine B, right? B is equal to, what do we have, right? This is B, right? We have the length of 1.05, okay? 1.05. Remember, we converted it to centimeters, so we're going to use 105 centimeters multiplied by, what do we want? We want to determine what are the units, okay, on a piece of paper. So you're going to multiply by 1, and you're going to divide by what you have. What do we have? What does this 105 centimeters represent? It represents the units in real life. So here we are just going to divide by what we have, which is 30. Okay, so in this case, if you take 105 multiplied by 1 over 30, you'll get then that the length of this fish tank, right, on a piece of paper should be 3.5 centimeters. Jonah needs to measure 3.5 centimeters on his paper when he's drawing the length of our fish tank. Let us just confirm the width, right? Let's check to see if our method is actually correct by using the same method to determine the width, right? And if we don't get this answer of 1 centimeters, then we know that we've done something wrong. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to just take that 0.3 meters. Okay, if we take 0.3 meters, that is the same as saying 30 centimeters. This is just a check. Okay, we are checking so that you guys see, okay, that this method is actually correct. Okay, this is just a check. Okay, so what do? We can just take that 30 centimeters, you multiply. Okay, let's just do this. Remember, we're trying to check the width, right? Okay, so you'll just take your 30 centimeters, multiply by, what do you want? You want the length on a piece of paper. So you're going to multiply it by 1, and you're going to divide it by what you have. What do we have? We've got the units in real life. The 30 centimeters are the units in real life. So we're going to divide it by 30. Okay, so if you punch that into your calculator, what do you see, guys? Okay, the 30 cancel, which is 1 times 1 is equal to 1 centimeters. Okay, so we can see that, okay, we are on the right track. We are fine. We are absolutely correct, because then we see that here they also got a width of 1 centimeters. Okay, so that is also another way that you can check. I think they also put this there so that you can check that your answer is correct by using the formula or the method that you've used. Okay, All right, and we are basically done, guys, with question 4.1.1. I hope that was nice and easy for you guys. I'm not going to show you the other method because it's long and it's draining. And I think it's always good for you guys to start getting the hang of quick ways to get your solutions so that you can finish your question in time. Okay, so that is it for this question 4.1.1. Let us have a look at the next question. Question 4.1.2. It says determine the volume of the small fish tank in centimeters cubed, right? So we are already given here what the dimensions are of the small fish tank. But these dimensions, remember guys, they were given to us in meters, right? And then we basically converted these dimensions, right, of the small fish tank, right, from meters into centimeters, right? So we're going to use these same dimensions, right, that we've converted here, that 45 centimeters, that 105 centimeters, and that 30 centimeters, right? And we're going to now use these, right, to determine the volume of our small fish tank, right? We're given the formula that we're supposed to use, right? We are given that the volume is equal to the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the height, okay? So what was our length? It was 105 centimeters multiplied by, what is our width? We found that our width is 30 centimeters. And what is our height? We found out our height was 45 centimeters. Okay, so we want to determine what is the actual volume of our small fish tank, right? Not the volume on a piece of paper. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, guys. So if you punch this into your calculator, 105 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 45 centimeters, centimeters will give our answer in the units of centimeters cubed, right? Or cubic centimeters. Okay, so if you punch this into your calculator, you'll get that the volume of this small fish tank is 750 centimeters cubed, right? So we've basically obtained the volume of our small fish tank. All right, let us have a look at the next question. Question 4.1.3 says the answer that we've calculated, right, basically gave us how much water, okay, the tank can hold, the capacity of our fish tank, right? This 141,750 gives us how much this fish tank can hold, right? So now we want to determine if this tank was 90% full, right? How much water would be in that tank? Okay, so before we can even now start off to calculate how much water is in our tank, if we've got 90% of water in it, right? The first thing we need to do, guys, we need to first convert these centimeters cubed into liters, okay? Because we know that when we want to determine how much water is in something, right, water is measured in milliliters, in liters, right? And not in centimeters cubed. Okay, so we need to now first convert these centimeters cubed into liters. And we are told here that we can use that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter, right? So we are told that we can use this equation, 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter, okay? And then we'll take it a step further to then convert this answer to liters, because the question asks us to determine how many liters of water will the tank hold. It didn't ask how many milliliters of water does the tank hold. It wanted in liters, okay? But I'm going to just take it step by step for you guys, okay? So we're going to start off with the value that we've got. Remember, we found that, okay, this tank, okay, has a volume of 141,750, right, centimeters cubed, right? And we're now going to use this formula, this equation that is given to us, right, to determine what is this amount, right, in milliliters, okay? Because when you want to determine how much water we have in something, water is measured in liters, it's measured in milliliters, okay? So that is why we're doing that, okay? So we're going to multiply still, guys. This formula is coming in. This method is coming in, right? So we multiply by what we want. You're going to multiply it by 1 milliliter, right? And you're going to divide by what we have right, we've got our units in centimeters cubed. Okay, so here you can already see that the centimeters and the centimeters cubed are cancelling, right? Okay, so the centimeter cubed are cancelling, right? And then if you punch this into a calculator, this is just going to stay the same. Do you see that? Because it's just 1,41750 multiplied by 1. So it's just going to stay the same. So it's just going to be 1,41750, right, milliliters. However, we are not done. We want to get our final answer in liters. That means that we need to further convert these milliliters, right, into liters. How are we going to do that? What do we know? I'm going to show you two ways in which we can do this. We already know that 1,000, okay, 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter, right? So we've got that one there, right? So we can use this equation to help us convert these milliliters into liters, right? Or you can also use this method, okay? When you want to move from a bigger unit, your liters, to a smaller unit, your milliliters, what do we do? So to move from liters to milliliters, you multiply by 1,000. To move from milliliters to liters, you divide by 1,000. Okay, so you can either use any one of these methods, right? Depending on whichever one that you're comfortable with, because I've got different learners on the channel, so I have to cater for all of the learners that I have on the channel. So I'm going to use both of these methods to show you how we can convert this 141,750 milliliters to liters. Okay, so we're going to take the 141,750 milliliters, right? Okay, and you're going to multiply by what you want. You want your units in liters, so you're going to multiply by 1 liter, and you're going to divide by what you have, which is your units in milliliters. Okay, you're going to divide by 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so here, guys, you guys should see, okay, your milliliters are cancelling, okay, leaving you in the units that we want, which is liters. Okay, so you can do it like that, or you can even do it like this. We want to convert the 141,750, okay, milliliters. You want to do what? You want to move from milliliters to liters. So that means that you divide by 1,000. So you can just divide by 1,000. When you divide by 1,000, that will give you your answer in units, in liters. Okay, so it's the same thing. Do you see that, guys? Because here we're dividing by 1,000, here we're dividing by 1,000. Okay, if you take 141,750 times 1 over 1,000, it's the same as just saying divide by 1,000. Okay, so the answer is 141.75 liters. Okay, 141.75 liters. Okay, so that is how we basically go about converting from milliliters to liters using these two different methods. Whichever one that you're comfortable with, right? Please, by all means, use that one. It will be accepted. Okay, let us continue. We haven't finished the question. Remember, we want to determine how much water will be in the tank if it's filled to 90% of its capacity. We already know that, okay? If the tank is filled to 100% of its capacity, that means that we have 141.75 liters of water. Okay, this value that we've just calculated here tells us how much water can go into this pool. Okay, but now we already know how much water will be in our tank if it's filled to 100% capacity, but we want to determine how much water will there be in the tank if it's filled to 90% of its capacity. So what are we going to do here, right? We're still going to take that 141.75 liters. You want to multiply. We want to determine how much water will be in the tank if it's filled to 90%. So you're going to multiply by 90%. And we're going to divide by what we have. So you multiply by what you want, okay? We want to determine how much water, okay, will be in the tank if it's filled to 90%. So we multiply by what we want, and you divide it by what we have, what does this 141.75 represent? Okay, that represents 100% of the water that can go into our fish tank. So it's just 100%. Okay, so here you'll see that your percentages are canceling. Okay, so whatever answer that you'll have, right, it won't be as a percentage. Okay, right, it'll just be in the units in liters. All right, so if you punch that into your calculator, guys, you will get that, okay, if this tank is filled to 90% of its capacity, that means that we just have 127, right, 0.575 liters of water in our fish tank. Okay, and we are basically done. Okay, so that's it, guys, for question number 4.1, right, where we basically had to use a number scale to determine dimensions on paper, where we had to you calculate a percentage of water that is in our fish tank, and also just determine volume. Okay, and also where we had to do some conversions. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video tutorial, guys. In the next video tutorial, we're going to be tackling question 4.2, right? So please make sure that you guys have your notification bells turned on. That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.